you sure can't hide. Well, nobody's interested in learning but the teacher. Segregation, determination, demonstration, integration, aggravation, humiliation, obligation to our nation.
Good morning and welcome to Detroit Wants to Know. Normally hosted by Steve Hood, but today I'm Ardell Turner Bradley and I'm going to be your host. We're talking about weddings, and that's something Steve knows absolutely nothing about. Joining me is the wedding expert here at the fabulous Rooster Tail, right on the Detroit River, is Nikki Howard Combs. She does do wedding planning, and her company is One to Envy Events. Welcome, Nikki.
Thank you, Ardell. Nice to be here.
Thank you. It's nice to have you.
Thank you.
Tell me a few things. First of all, what's the first thing you should do once you've decided you want to get married?
When planning a wedding, the budget is the most important thing that a bride and groom should look at. The budget kind of sets the pace for the planning. It helps you prioritize. It helps you understand what you can and can't spend. And if you can stick to a budget, then the wedding planning process is much easier.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Now, once you have that budget in place, should you hire a wedding planner?
Of course.
Okay.
And of course, I think you should hire me, but that might not happen. But it is very important for a couple. I always tell all my couples that a wedding planner is the most important gift that you can give to yourselves.
Okay.
That eliminates the stress. I mean, during wedding planning, you want to be relaxed. You want to be able to enjoy this time. And sometimes if you don't have a planner, you're so stressed out, you end up not even liking the person by the time you're marrying them. You still love them, but you don't like them so much. But so my opinion is that hiring a planner reduces the stress, and the investment that you make in a planner, you'll get back because the planner has the opportunity to save you money, negotiating contracts for you, finding the vendors that you want, cutting out that time. So it's just very important, in my opinion, to always have that person. I don't necessarily recommend that it's a family member or a friend because then that can cause tension and stress and friction. But hiring a planner that you're comfortable with, I think, is very important.
Now, how do you go about finding a planner? Do you just Google wedding planners and then you interview people? That's what you'd suggest?
Yeah, you can Google. The internet is a great way to find planners. And referrals. You know, people that have used a planner before, great referrals. Probably 90% of my business is through referrals. So yes, it's a great way to talk to people who've recently gotten married. A lot of couples that are getting married with groups of friends that are getting married. When I got married, probably 5 of us were getting married at the same time. And so you can share some of those resources. And if they've had planners that were successful for them, that would be a good place to start.
And then do you pick your reception hall second? Is that something that is important? You need to pick far in advance, such as the Rooster Tail?
Yes, you do. A lot of weddings take place between May and September, so trying to find that spot, that location for your reception is very important, and the reception is the largest cost of the wedding. So that is one of the first things that you do want to take care of when you're planning a wedding.
And after that, you have the reception hall. I have my planner. Do we get to go out and pick our dress next?
Yes, we do, and that's so fun. There are a lot of great wedding shops around, bridal shops. Some are independently owned, some are larger companies like the David Bridals. There are a lot of things to choose from. There are a lot of dress sizes and types and styles. And so I think it's important to find a bridal shop that knows the information about how your body is formed so they can tell you the dress styles that fit perfect for you.
Now, this is a question. Should you take your friends and family with you to pick your dress?
Us girls always like to have mom around, but sometimes that doesn't work. I think that it's important for you to know what you think you want, and bring that out as an option also. Remembering that this is your wedding. So your wedding should be what you want. But there's always good advice that family can offer, that the bridal salon can offer to tailor something that fits your body type. But it's always fun to have a loved one with you when you're planning.
Now, then you want to pick the tuxedos next.
Yes.
And then do you take your groom and do you pick them together?
Typically, the grooms want to do that alone, but the brides always have to have a say in it. You want to make sure that their colors coordinate with the colors.
The style may fit your
dress. The
dress.
colors. You know, some brides don't want the cummerbund, some want ascot. So you want to make sure that before your groom goes out, but you want to give him that leeway to go out and do it on his own.
Have his own.
But you want to make sure you have some input and that he listens to that input. And before the wedding, you want to see it. You don't want to be surprised.
But you don't want him to see the dress.
No, he can't see the dress.
He see the tuxedo, don't see the dress.
That's right.
The ring, of course, we've seen that.
Oh yes, we've seen the ring.
We picked that together?
We picked that. Well, he might surprise you, but you want to have input. But you do want to see that before the wedding day. You don't want to stand up there and get your ring and say, huh? So you want to make sure that you got to look at that ring before he puts it on your finger.
I've already got a wedding planner then, because I have to pick my place where I'm going to have the reception. I have to get my dress. We have to have the ring. Of course, we have to have cake, flowers, Destination honeymoon, so much to do, so much to do. So thank you, Nikki, for joining us. I want you to stick around. We have a lot to talk about.
I'll be here.
And I want you to stay because we're going to talk all about the cakes next with Felicia Johnson. So stay tuned. They may have something you want at your wedding reception. Welcome back to Detroit Wants to Know. Normally hosted by Steve Hood, but I'm Ardell Turner Bradley discussing weddings. Now we're going to talk to Felicia Johnson and talk about the cakes. Felicia, tell me, is there something trending now with wedding cakes, reception cakes?
Well, for 2004, I noticed a lot of people are requesting cupcakes, the cupcake towers, and as far as wedding cakes, the layers, the lace, different flowers. A lot of people are going with flowers. A lot of people are going with simple but elegant now.
Okay.
They still want the wow, but they want it more simple and elegant wow.
Now, when you're doing the wow cakes, do you typically make a separate tier? Because I know a lot of brides and grooms want to have that cake to eat on their first anniversary, so they put it away. Now, is this connected to the tier cake, for instance, or do you do something separate on the side?
Well, I've noticed a lot of people are doing away with that now.
Okay.
At Cake Love, we offer a separate anniversary cake.
Oh.
We can provide that either that day of the wedding, so they can go home and freeze, so they can do the traditional ceremony of the first year anniversary and eat the frozen cake, or you can just come and redeem a free cake on your anniversary. So a lot of people are doing away with saving the top tier and freezing it.
Now, do you do different flavors on every tier, or do you have to have the same flavor throughout the cake?
You can do whatever you want. I find that most people choose different flavors. Yeah, they try to change it up. And then some people just go for basic vanilla throughout.
Now, when you do their wedding cake, do you come with the cake and cut it at the end and use it as favors, or no?
Some people do that. Some people do that. Some people do that. They cut the cake, or they'll have it in boxes already.
Okay.
And then also people are doing the faux cakes.
Okay.
The faux cakes.
Wow.
No one ever know. You know, the top tier is real, or one tier and the cake is real for cutting, for pictures.
Right.
Take the cake to the back, and they bring out sheet cake. Well, they bring out cakes that they were cut up in the back, so people never know.
You never know what it's going to do.
Yeah.
Now, when I come to you, say I'm getting married, do you have some place where I can come and do taste testing and decide, I like this, I don't like this, or my groom can come with me and he has a favorite, I have a favorite?
I do. We have a bakery in downtown Farmington.
Where are you
right
located?
On Grand River. We're at 335 Grand River.
Okay.
Historic downtown Farmington.
Okay.
And right on Grand River. We just moved there. We just moved
good.
from Southfield.
Congratulations.
Yes.
Now, do you find that a lot of couples do that? Do the taste testing prior to selecting what type of cake they want?
Most people. I want to say probably 90% of the people
I
deal with, they will do a taste test. And I've had a couple that'll call, place a cake order over the phone just from referral, good referral. But most people do like to taste the cake in advance.
Now, did you bring some samples of something
I
we
sure
can
did.
look at?
I sure did. I think I brought up 3 or 4 different types for you to try.
Wonderful, wonderful. Now, the ones that you brought with us, are these things that have the lace or flowers, or is this something that's ordered very often? Or
well, we just brought samples for you to try, little mini bites of cake for you to try, but we do have an example of a cake.
Okay.
Just a simple, elegant 3-tiered cake for you guys to view.
We're definitely going to do that. I also wanted to find out, what's the time frame? If I'm getting married, I have my hall, I have my wedding planner, when should I come to you and say, Felicia, you have to do my wedding cake?
As soon as you decide to get married. But I suggest 6 to 9 months out.
Okay.
Most weddings take place during the summer months.
Correct.
And the summer dates book fast. So my suggestion to anyone, whether it's me or someone else, preferably me,
Okay.
my suggestion is, as soon as you know who you want to go with for a cake, at least secure it with the deposit.
Okay, okay. And then do you come and you bring the cake, you set it up, and if they want, I'm sure that's an additional charge for you to slice and serve the cake, or slice and put it out, or is it all one package, or you have separate packages?
Well, when I sit down and do the consultation, everything is discussed then. There is a delivery charge, a delivery and setup fee, but that's included in the price, and you get that price during the consultation.
But after you taste the cake, none of that matters.
All right, yeah. I'll say probably 95% of the people I meet with book with me.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I win them on the cake.
Now give us the address again of your new location.
The address is 335 Grand River. It's in Farmington, Michigan, and the zip is 48336.
And the phone number?
The phone number is 248-246-1624.
One more time.
248-246-1624. 1624.
Okay, so when you get these flood of calls, just remember I get a sample of every cake that you prepare. Just I'll give you my address. Just send it to me. Drop by.
I'll drop it off.
Or call me. I'll come pick it up. Thank you. I want to thank you so much, Felicia.
Okay, thank you.
And I want you guys to stay tuned. Next, we're going to talk about flowers. You can't have a wedding without beautiful flowers. So stay tuned for more of Detroit Wants to Know. Welcome back to Detroit Wants to Know, normally with Steve Hood, but I'm Ardell Turner Bradley hosting our wedding show. And with me, I have Kelly from Goodness Gracious Flowers. Welcome, Kelly. I want to ask you some questions. Okay. What's the first thing when a bride comes to you she asks about for her wedding flowers?
Usually the first thing they ask about is their bridal bouquet.
Okay.
And that sets the tone for the whole wedding.
Wow. Now, do you help them and decide colors, florals, or do they normally come with an idea of what they want?
Rarely they have an idea of what they want, but now that we have Instagram and Pinterest, they have inspirations.
Exactly.
So when they bring the inspirations and we go over different details and kind of flesh it out.
Now, do you have items set up so they can look at samples of your work or what you can do or what you may suggest?
At times I have samples, fresh samples of the work because I really like using fresh. Okay. I'll do silk, but I mostly like fresh, and I try to have fresh flowers in the office at all times so that you can speak on it.
Okay. Now, once they get their bouquet, what do we do next? It's the boutonniere?
After their bouquets, then it's the bridesmaids' bouquets.
Okay.
And then from that, the boutonnieres and the corsages kind of
follow suit.
Yes.
Now, do you work with the wedding coordinator doing all of this or just the bride?
Initially, it's the wedding coordinator if they have a wedding coordinator.
Right.
But the bride
You're suggesting they have one.
I always suggest that they have one. But then the focus is always the bride, so you have to kind of listen to what they have to say.
Now, when you do the reception hall, typically a lot of people have flowers on their centerpieces. Is that something you also do?
Absolutely. We do that. We do lighting choices and fabric choices.
So you don't do just flowers?
No, we go for the full decor scenario from soup to nuts.
Wow, that sounds exciting.
It is.
Now, do you go out to the reception halls, for instance, at the Rooster Tail? Would you come here and look at the table, the setting, the beautiful ambiance that they have here and sort of determine the type of flower that would fit?
Yes, the flowers and the timing of the day, because that determines lighting.
Exactly.
Just every detail within the event, you take it into account from the beginning to the end and how things will look as it flows on.
Now, I've heard some people, I don't know if this, I know I heard you say you love fresh flowers, but I've seen people where they don't have fresh flowers. Like, is that something you advise or not advise? Okay.
No, I don't advise that. The whole idea of having fresh flowers back in antebellum days, the reason that you have a bouquet is initially the men didn't even know who the brides were.
Oh my.
So the only way that they knew who the brides were was that they were carrying groups of spices, herbs and spices. That's where the bouquet comes from. And it represents a freshness of a new life and keeping the spice of life alive for the rest of your days.
Well, I've certainly learned something here today. Now, did you bring any samples that we can see and show our audience?
I did.
All right. Now, did you bring the bouquet or some centerpieces? Or
I brought some centerpieces. I brought a bouquet and some different colors of roses.
Okay. Now, tell me where you're located, Kelly.
I'm located at 2244 Helen.
Okay.
In Detroit.
Now, phone number?
313-924-7223.
So we can call you when we're planning our wedding and set up a time, and you'll take us through the education portion, obviously, and then flowers that we would want, and have for the bouquet, the mother's bouquet, corsage, and you do the whole, from the beginning to the end, from A to Z.
Yes, anything that has to do with decor, I'm your girl. You can do it.
So not just flowers, lace, candles.
All of that.
Anything you want.
Yes, we'll make it fabulous.
Oh, I'm sure you will. So don't forget, Goodness Gracious. Address one more time.
2244 Helen.
Phone number?
313-92-GRACE. That's 313-924-7223.
Well, thank you so much, Kelly, for
Thank you
being
for
here
having
today.
me.
I don't want you to go far. I know we've talked about a lot of things with weddings. We're going to have more conversation at this fabulous Rooster Tail. And I want to have some photographs and pictures and things so everyone can see the beautiful work that you do.
Oh, I'm excited.
I am too. Thank you again. And stay tuned. We're going to talk about this beautiful, fabulous Rooster Tail next, someplace you may want to have your wedding reception. Stay tuned to Detroit Wants to Know. Welcome back to Detroit Wants to Know. Normally Steve Hood is your host, but I'm Ardell Turner Bradley, hosting our wedding show today. Now with us, I have two beautiful ladies, Erica and Jackie. We're going to discuss having a wedding reception here at the fabulous Rooster Tail. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you.
I want to ask you a few questions. First of all, when should a bride contact you as far as setting a date for the Rooster Tail?
Well, I would definitely go ahead and say as soon as possible. We do book events and things like that pretty quickly, but you're probably looking maybe about 9 to 12 months in advance would be ideal, especially for weddings.
And I'm assuming the summer months, it books faster than like currently winter months?
Absolutely, yeah. Just about every Friday, Saturday, and most of the Sundays have weddings from about June through October. We do Winter Wonderland weddings, which are fabulous. We do some extra decor items, and you have the beautiful view. I mean, if Winter Wonderland is what you're going for, we can definitely do that as well.
Now, as far as pricing, do you have different price packages, or is it different in the winter than the summer?
Yes, it is. We do try working with all of our customers as best as possible as far as budgets and things like that. But we have off season somewhere around between the months of January until about March, April. Right. And then usually you have your prime time, which is the summertime.
Now, do you work with brides if they have a certain budget, maybe things that are included in your packages they can eliminate to possibly be able to afford the Rooster Tail?
Absolutely. One of the things that really sets us apart, though, is that we are the all-inclusive venue. We're as close as you can get to that one-stop shop facility. We have just about everything you need for your reception. That would be linens, the beautiful Chiavari chairs, centerpieces for your tables, LED lighting design. So a lot of our brides find that they don't have to outsource or hire a lot of additional vendors, which ends up saving them a lot in their budget. So.
And I actually know because I happen to have had my wedding reception here. The beautiful fountain, the waters, the color fountain, that sold me. When I saw that, I'm like, Daddy, we have to do it here.
Exactly. There are a lot of those magic factors that definitely sets us apart from your typical cookie cutter banquet halls. And then it's just really great that we do include a lot of those additional amenities as well, to where from the planning side of things, it's a really easygoing, less stressful process.
And I'm sure, as you saw earlier, you work with the florist, the cake maker, and everything just comes together.
Yeah, we basically do it all. We're almost like having your own wedding planner too.
Now, so you decorate the tables and the inside different per wedding, or is it a standard look?
Absolutely. Every bride has their own personality. I think a wedding is a great time to show who the bride and groom are. So a lot of times they're bringing in those additional items, favors, place cards, the naming the tables after places they've been. So there's a lot of ideas when we can take the simple things out of the way, like the linens and the centerpieces. It lets them express their creativity by adding those extra things in. So.
And it's all about personalizing it too, putting their personality out there and just further customizing and creating that special dream day for them.
Now, do you work with the music, or do you guys supply music, or how does that work?
Actually, they always hire their own band or DJ, but we do work with, we've worked with pretty much every band and DJ service in the area so far.
In the industry, that's for sure.
Now, I know you have two different levels. Can you give me some details, maybe the difference between upstairs and downstairs?
Yeah, definitely. The Marine Room, which is the first level floor, typically accommodates somewhere around on Fridays 150 guests. On Saturdays, usually our target's around 200 to 250. And then the Palm River Room, since it's a much larger room, we can accommodate about 250 to 500 in that space.
And that is typically, but you don't have the lighting. I know the outside fountains. So that was something that sold me. And
Palm River has a lot more LED lighting though in the ceiling. You've got the 40-foot cathedral ceilings. We installed a new custom crystal chandelier. So there are a lot of updates that we've made to the upstairs room as well.
And we have state-of-the-art LED lighting in both rooms.
Now, in case there's someone who doesn't know where you're located, give me your address.
We're at 100 Marquette Drive. We're right on the riverfront, right off of Jefferson.
And phone number?
313-822-1234, and just hit extension 0. Yeah.
So they can call you at any point in time and set up a meeting, come in.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
We'll
we
give
show
you a
them.
tour.
Yep, we'd be more than happy to set up a scheduling consultation.
Show the lights.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Not the fountains now, but once the weather
Once
warms
the
up.
river freezes.
Well, I want to thank you, ladies. Stay around. We have a lot of questions. Thank you. I appreciate all your input. And I want to thank you for joining us today. This has been Detroit Wants to Know, hosted by Ardell Turner Bradley, typically with Steve Hood, but as you know, he doesn't know a lot about the weddings. Thank you, and I look forward to seeing you next week.
Going to the chapel and we're gonna get married.